Hello everyone, Sazima here, back again with yet another gameplay commentary, Halo Reach style. Today I'm showing you guys a little perfection I got. It was actually the first perfection I ever had, and it was long because I was kind of camping back, staying back, wanted to get that perfection. Now, I'm going to talk about today is a really important, it's a relevant subject, and it'll be very relevant in the coming months, the coming year, and when Halo 4 drops later this year. Estimated drop date for that Halo 4, I heard September. I'm hearing January next year. I don't think January next year makes sense because then you would miss the Christmas season. I heard September. I don't know if that's too soon, maybe. Well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I really want to talk about the Halo 4 ranking system today. What the Halo 4 ranking system is going to be like. What's going through my mind. What I think about it. What's going through 343's mind. What they think about it. So, in order to analyze this, I think that it's really helpful to go learn some history a little bit for those of you who don't know. So let's go back to the first Halo ranking system. Let's go all the way back to Halo 2. Halo 2's ranking system was a very simple ranking system. It was a linear progression based on wins. It was a 1 to 50 ranking system, but it was nowhere near the 1 to 50 ranking system in a sense of Halo 3 for those of you who have never played Halo 2. Basically, if you won a lot of games, you were guaranteed to go up no matter what. And this system was flawed. Many players it wasn't flawed, but many players thought that it should add another layer of skill. That skill should really be a factor. That it's called skill, but it doesn't really accurately represent skills. It just accurately represents how many times you win. So your team could completely carry you, but you could still be at level 50. So that kind of bothered some people, and Bungie took a step back. They're like, okay, let's reanalyze this. Let's rework this for Halo 3. And then they did. And Halo 3, Bungie promised a skill system that actually worked, not just one that would be based on wins. And the experience would be the win skill. The experience that we know in Halo 3, where you win a game, you get one experience point, that would be kind of the linear progression of it. And then you would also need a second layer, which would be the skill system of a 1 to 50, which would be called True Skill System. And that's a very complicated system. But basically, it's based on a few values. It's very complex, but it boils down to how you do relative to the other players' skill levels. So basically, if I'm a level 5 and I'm playing against all level 10s and I win, then I'm probably going to go up. Likewise, if I'm level say 47 and I'm playing against a bunch of level 42s, I'm probably not going to level up after that game. So that's basically what that means. And this system was a little bit flawed. Well, it was a lot of bit flawed because the system builds up a profile of skill on every player. It analyzes every player after ranked games, and then it says this player is this good, and it gets kind of like it gets a reading on you, see how good you are. So when it compares you to other players, it knows how to rank you up, to match you up evenly with this skill. Now, but the problem is with that the profile of, let's say, your portrait could only be made while you're playing ranked games. So when you have a new account that has no profile on it, it would be much easier to rank up in your first, say, 40 games that you ever played, because the system doesn't have a full reading on you yet. So that's why it was easier for lower level players to rank up really fast. Say you get a new account. Let's take my example. The first account that I'm playing on right now, this is my first account. This is Challenge. And in Halo 3, it's only a 47, I believe. But I do have a level 50 account for Halo 3 that I got basically by making a new one, and I just started over from level 1. I got it really quickly. So that shows you right there that it's a little bit flawed, because I couldn't get 50 on this account. It was kind of frozen at a certain skill level, whereas I get a new account, I just get right up to 50. Boom, boom, boom. So consequently, it was easier to level up new accounts. This created some problems. People complained. Bungie was like, okay, we get it, we'll fix it. Besides, we're having some problems ourselves with this ranking system because of the fact that new accounts could be ranked up so easily. It started a business that Bungie really did not like. People selling accounts, people selling 50s, and it did really not make the 50 skill level, the general level, what it was supposed to do. It didn't have the prestige because people were selling these accounts. So in Halo Reach, Bungie decides to separate the linear progression and the skill progression. They're going to keep them independent of each other this time. So basically, you can still level up to the max rank with just experience points, but there's a separate skill level. There's a separate skill where you can show your skill in the arena. So you kind of have these two separate things. But the rotating seasons of the arena and the long high levels of the Halo Reach made trading and selling accounts very inefficient business. It kind of eliminated that black market business from Halo, pretty much. So that brings us to Halo 4. What is Halo 4 going to be like? Well, I noticed that 343 has recognized some trends in the system. People complain when a skill system says that they're not good when they think they are. People really disagree with skill systems. They're like, I don't deserve this. So people always complain about skill systems. So they really don't want it to be always in their face. And then they have games like Call of Duty and Battlefield 3 that completely eliminate skill. They don't have any kind of skill system whatsoever, and they just randomly match up players in these games, and they don't care about skill. It's only linear progression. Personally, I liked Halo 3 the best, but the credit system instead of the 1-win experience points, I did like that a little bit more. I think that was a little bit more fair, but I digress. Now, Halo 4, 343 Industries is on the hot seat with the ranking system, among other things, believe me. But I'd venture to guess that the Halo 4 ranking system will have a 1 to 100 ranking system called BPR, which stands for Battle Proficiency Rating. And the reason I get this is from the Halo Waypoint website. When you go to look up your stats, it has, on the Halo Waypoint, not the Bungie website, on Halo Waypoint, it has a ranking system called BPR, and it's a number from 1 to 100, and here's the description of BPR. Battle Proficiency Rating, BPR, is a number between 1 and 100 representing a player's overall skill in Halo Reach's multiplayer mode. This rank rating tracks your kills, wins, assists, deaths, and betrayals across all matches played. You must play at least 10 invasion, arena, or competitive games before this number can be calculated. Now, what does this mean? Basically, I think that this is 343 trying to bring together the best of both worlds. They're bringing the rating system from Halo Reach in. They're taking all these different elements that add up to this rating, and they're also bringing wins into this. They're bringing pretty much everything into this central rating that comes up with BPR. Now, my first bet on the Halo 4 ranking system is this. But I really think that this ranking system fixes a lot of problems that we had before. I think that it's going to be a passive rating system, which means that it will stay. I don't think this is a tough venture to guess here, but maybe there will be no ranked playlists in Halo 4. Maybe this BPR will always be there. There's not going to be any kind of arena, but this BPR will always be there on every player's profile. When you go to their service record, it'll always be there, whether you want it to be there or not. It'll always have that little BPR. That little skill ranking system will always be there. It tracks you for every single game. But I don't think it'll necessarily match you up with players for every single game. Geez, this is a very complicated process that 343 has indulged themselves in, and I'm really interested to see how it will turn out. My bet is that this BPR will be the Halo 4 ranking system. I would venture to guess that there could be a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if Halo 4 had no ranked playlists or no arena type playlists, but rather the BPR, the Battle Proficiency Rating, would always be there across all playlists, and it wouldn't just have BPR per separate playlists. Every single playlist comes together and it feeds into this BPR. It's like an overall representation of skill. Now, what I really would like to know is if the BPR or the skill level, whichever skill level comes in Halo 4, would matter for ranking up, kind of like Halo 3, where you couldn't get to, say, Inheritor and Halo Reach unless you had a certain BPR. So that'll be a really interesting thing to play out. I know some people don't like that, some people like that. Usually the less skilled players don't like that. The more skilled players like that. Adds a little bit of exclusivity to the highest ranks there. So guys, in conclusion, it's going to be a pretty interesting year. I think so. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As usual, like the video, comment on your thoughts on the matter. What do you think Halo 4's ranking system will be like? Favorite the video, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.